What's happening, guys? Today I'm going to talk about jump starting your weight loss. So this is something that we see quite frequently, right? And it's something that we've probably all done at some point, or at least are thinking about doing it. And it's like, you haven't been dieting for a while, it's time to jump into a fat loss phase, and you really want to get things going. So you're going to do something to try to jump start it, right? To try to really get things going and get your body humming along and see some really good results. And a lot of times what that means is being really overly restrictive and doing some drastic measures to try to get some extreme results right away. And so that might be like excluding all of your different favorite types of foods, or literally even whole macronutrients. Sometimes we'll cut out carbs completely, cut out fat completely, do a lot of extreme measures, or eat extremely low calorie, or just restrict anything and everything that you think is bad, and really try to get things going. And while that will certainly work, you will definitely start seeing faster results in the beginning. I want to talk about how this is actually going to work against you in the long run, and why it's a really bad idea. And actually jump starting your weight loss is the absolute worst thing you can do if you want to see results long term versus just short weight loss that you can't sustain. So the problem with this method is you have to understand that the metabolism is adaptive, right? So we don't have a stagnant metabolism. When you diet down, your metabolism adapts down with it, all right? All the processes that happen in the body start to down regulate a little bit. So you burn less calories from exercise, you burn less calories from the thermic effect of food, you burn less calories at rest, your BMR drops, your hormones get all out of whack. There's a lot of things that happen within the body that cause your metabolic rate to slow down, and it becomes much more difficult to continue to see fat loss. So if you make really dramatic changes in the beginning, while you may see really fast results at first, there's a couple things to keep in mind. One, you're probably going to be losing more than just fat. You're going to be losing fat and water weight and lean body mass, and you're sacrificing a lot of things that you don't want to sacrifice to see faster results. And for two, you're going to stagnate at these lower calories, and then you're going to have nowhere to go from there. So if you just drop your calories super low right off the bat, maybe start doing a bunch of cardio and really just try to be as aggressive as possible, you see that fast weight loss, but eventually your body's going to catch up. It's going to adapt, and that's no longer going to work anymore, and you can't see any more results. Well, what are you going to do then to keep things progressing? How are you going to see further results? You're already barely eating and doing a ton of cardio. You can't realistically make any more adjustments, so you just get stuck. And then what typically happens is once you get stuck, it's no longer worth the effort. You feel run down. The dieting's really starting to take its toll, and you just kind of give up and go back to your old eating habits. But now you go back to your old eating habits with an even slower metabolism than it started, and rapid weight regain happens. You can literally create new fat cells if you gain weight too fast, and it just makes it that much harder. And every single time you do this, it gets harder and harder and harder to lose weight, because you just really kind of trash your metabolism. And if you've gone through a long history of this, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Have you noticed how every single time you try to lose, it gets harder and harder and harder? It's because of this. So you don't want to get too aggressive off the bat, and you want to make sure you leave some wiggle room to be able to make adjustments to keep the process going as things stall out. Now, some people will make the mistake of taking this and then going to the way opposite end of the spectrum, and they'll hardly reduce their calories at all in the start, and they'll hardly make any changes, and then they don't really see any results. So there is a middle ground here. So when you start, you don't want to make too small of a change, because if you just make a tiny little change, your body doesn't really see what's happening. It's kind of like, if you know what reverse dieting is, it's basically like reverse dieting in reverse, and you just slowly adapt your metabolism down to the lower calories without really seeing much benefit in fat loss, which is obviously not what we want in a fat loss phase. So you need to make an aggressive enough change to see results, but not so aggressive that you leave yourself no wiggle room, and make sure that you're thinking big picture here. So when you start a fat loss phase, I usually recommend that you drop your calories between about 400 to 600 calories. Now, this depends on a lot of different things, but that's usually a good starting point for most people. And then maybe add in around a half hour to an hour of cardio for the week, and then just kind of see how that goes. And if you have to be more aggressive, give it a couple weeks and see. Sometimes it takes time for the body to realize what kind of changes are happening within it. And if it's not working, okay, then you can make some more adjustments. Take away another 100, 150 calories, maybe add in a little bit more cardio, and until things get going, then you can hold that for a while until it stops, and then you need to make some more adjustments or take some diet breaks and then make some adjustments after that. And that'll really get the process going better. So just don't get caught up in just trying to rush to the finish line. This is what absolutely destroys people. You got to have a lot of patience with this game. If you want long-term results that are going to last, you have to be patient. It's critical. And if you just try to rush the process, you're just going to end up stuck, and it's going to be a frustrating experience. And while it certainly is fun and motivating to see those really fast results in the beginning, you just end up stuck, and that is frustrating. I don't want that for you. I want to see you get the best results possible. So just think about it this way. Like, if you lose 30 pounds in the first month, that might be really super motivating and feel great. But if you then get stuck at that 30 pounds, you can't go anywhere. So you've only lost 30 pounds. If you have a lot of weight to lose, if you say you're trying to lose like 100 pounds, well, if you lose maybe 8 to 10 pounds a month, but you keep doing that every single month, 6 months later, now you're down 60, 70 pounds. Whereas if you lose 30 right away in a month, then you get stuck. By the end of the 6 months, you're still at 30, or you've probably gained the weight back. So again, gotta always think big picture here. All right, so I hope that helps. If you don't know how many calories you eat and you want to figure it out, I do have a video that I will link at the end of this video, maybe put in the description as well, that talks about how to figure out what your macros are and what your current maintenance calories are and how to make adjustments from there. So I will link that. If you have any questions about this, please let me know. Like the video if you liked it. I would really appreciate it. Subscribe if you haven't, and I will talk to you later.
I'm addicted to the love that you're giving. Every minute, every day I've been craving.